Are you able to see?
Yes, sir. Yes, sir.
Yes, sir. We can see.
Once upon a time lived a talkative little girl. From the morning till late at night, she loved to talk to anybody and everybody, so much that people called her Vayadi, meaning the talkative girl. Surrounded by excellent storytellers, she herself started telling stories from the age of 5. She had the gift of speaking eloquently even at a young age and always had a crowd around her. Be it young or old, everybody admired her presence, for she brought fun, laughter, and joy along. This young girl is our today's guest, Jeeva Raghunadhan. Little did she know that day she was going to pioneer Tamil Nadu's storytelling movement. Jeeva Raghunadhan started telling stories first to the toddlers as a teacher for 12 long years. She moved on to teach French for high schoolers using her creative techniques. Destiny turned to her favor when she met her schoolmate Radhika Menon from Tulika Publishers. They gave her the responsibility of translating an activity-based storybook into Tamil, which introduced her to the public as a storyteller. Fast forward 23 years, Raghunadhan has been to over 23 countries sharing Indian folk tales. With all the travel, she picks interesting tidbits about storytelling styles of each country. She tells stories from a wide range of domains including Indian and Asian folk tales, European tales, family stories, true life incidents, cross-culture and modern stories. When she tells you a story, it is as visual as it can get. All at once, she is an actor, singer, mimic, and dancer. Her lively and dramatic storytelling performances keep people of all ages spellbound. Her grandmother was a very physical and animated storyteller. Her genre was humor. It is her who told stories amidst meals of rice, pickle and appalam with her cousins who had the biggest influence on her. Raghunadhan says that she takes after her. Her lady luck, hard work and passion for storytelling has paid off, and now she has to her credit the following accomplishments. She represented India in 17 international storytelling festivals around the globe, has trained over 25,000 children and adults all over the world, over 500 performances, both solo and international showcases, winner of the Best Entrepreneur Award in the field of storytelling, authored 8 children's stories both nationally and internationally, translated 45 books into Tamil from English, winner of the Best Children's Program Punnangai in Singapore, playing the key role Avulanti, creative head for the 3D animation series Bhumi and Friends for the Image Venture, an animation company in India. On top of all this, Raghunadh is also an author of children's books. She has written 2 original stories, 2 Tamil letter books, and has translated 17 books. So everybody, be prepared to be captivated by this magician with words. Abhyasavidyalayam is proud to welcome the very vibrant and charming Jeeva Raghunadh to Click Talk 29.
Jeeva girl, unmute.
Thank you. Thank you
Jeeva
very
girl.
much.
We try to do our best to introduce to the audience. So through this video, so whatever we thought of saying, we already said. So I am just asking you to take over because you're already late. Thank you.
Yeah. Thank you so much. Thank you so much. Hello, everybody. Hope you're all doing good. Yes?
Yes.
By now,
yes.
waiting must have made you very hungry. Right? All right. I'm going to share a story that I wrote for Tulika Publishers. It's called The Grandma's Beat. And I'm going to share it with you. Are you ready with me? Yes? I would love to have interaction, but I know it's not possible online. So I'm just going to tell the story, and you can just take the story with you and share it with all your friends. In a small village, there lived an old lady and an old man. And the old lady had no teeth. Every time she went, but she was fond of beetle leaves. You know what beetle leaves are? I don't know what you say in Telugu. Beddaka avalo, or something like that. Something like that. Beetle leaves. Yeah. So But she was fond of chewing. So what she did was, she took a mortar, she took a pestle, she threw in the betel leaves, she threw in the betel nut, and she took the pestle, and she would go just like this. Tuck, 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 tuck. Can you try that with me? Can you do the action with me? Good. Tuck, 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 tarak, 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 tarak. Ala bak. Achik muchik, achik muchik, achik muchik, achik muchik, achik muchik. Pooh. Achik muchik, achik muchik, achik muchik, achik muchik. Pooh. Now she did this from morning to evening, evening to morning. Now her husband, the old man, was tired of this noise. And he said, ayo, yo, yo, yo. My wife from morning to evening, evening to night. She go tuck, 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 tarak, 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 labak, ajiga mujiga, ajiga mujiga, ajiga mujiga, ajiga mujiga, yo, 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 yo. My ears are paining, yo, 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 yo. So he wanted to find a solution for this. Now, what do? He thought, what's a good idea? In their village, there was a wise teacher. His name was Teacher Vela. So he said, I'm going to ask Vela, Teacher Vela. And he went out and he called out, Teacher Vela, Teacher Vela. Now, Vela was a young teacher, very intelligent and wise. So he came walking in just like a hero. And he said, yes, Grandpa, what's your problem? Why did you call me? And the old man said, my wife from morning to evening, evening to morning, she goes tuck, 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 tarak, 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 alabak, achik muchik, achik muchik, achik muchik, achik muchik. No, my ears are paining. And the teacher said, what can we do? Good idea. He said, all right, old man, Grandpa, do you have a cow with you? Now, the old man was a very rich landlord. And he said, of course, yes, I have the best cows in the village. And the teacher said, now, Grandpa, tie the cow inside your house. Huh? What? Tie the cow inside the house? What is wrong with you, teacher? How to tie cow inside the house? What is wrong with you? Grandpa, do as I tell you. Well, of course. He was very wise and intelligent. So Grandpa had to listen to him, and he brought in the cow. Moo, moo, whoa, 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 and tied to the window. Now the cow, she looked around. And she was frightened, and she went, and the old lady, cried the old man. He said, my wife's noise is bad enough. Now this cow is also saying, bah, bah. Two noises now. Oh, my ears are paining. He went out and called out, Teacher Vela. Teacher Vela said, yes, Grandpa, what do you want? My wife is going duggy, duggy, duggy. The cow is going, bah. Oh, what do I do now? My ears are hurting. Grandpa, don't be silly. It's very easy. Do you have a donkey? Of course, yes. I'm the richest landlord. I got 500 donkeys I have. That's okay, Grandpa. Bring one donkey and tie her inside the house. Donkey? First cow, no donkey. What, teacher? Grandpa, do as I tell you. Of course, he had to do because he was so clever. dragged the donkey and died. The donkey looked around. He got scared too, and he went. And the cow, moo, moo. And the old lady, takku 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 tarak 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 alavaku ajigu mujigu ajigu mujigu ajigu mujigu ajigu mujigu. The old man cried and he went out and called out again, Nijavela, help me. Grandpa, I'm only here. What do you want? The donkey, the cow, moo, and my wife, yes, I'm Grandpa, I know the solution. Please tell me what is it. I'll do anything. You have a horse? I told you I'm the richest landlord. Yes, I have a horse. Tie the horse inside the house. What? Horse? Yes, Grandpa. Don't doubt it. Do it. So he brought the horse. And tied. And the horse also looked. And he went. And the donkey. And the cow. And the old lady. The old man had no energy. There was no sound coming out. Only his mouth was shaking and tears were rolling, and he ran out. And of course, Teacher Vela was there. He said, what, Grandpa? What's your problem? The horse, the donkey, the cow, and my wife. Right. Let me think. Let me give you a good solution, he said. Please do. I can't take any more noises, please. And the young teacher said, all that you need to do is, old man, send them all out one by one. Cut? Send them all out. And first went the horse. Then went the donkey. Then went the cow. Moo, moo, moo. And then you can't send the old lady out, can you? After all, she's his wife. But then, now, when he came inside, what was tuck tuck? Now, he heard it just like this. Tuck 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 tarak 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 alapuk achik muchik achik muchik achik muchik achik achik muchik achik muchik achik muchik achik. And the old man said, my grandma's music is the best music. Her beat is the best beat. And so saying, he leaned against his easy chair and was soon fast asleep. The old lady, to this day, continues. Thank you. Thank you very much. That's Grandma's Beat that I wrote.
Teacher, you are in mute.
Yes, teacher.
Mute. I didn't do anything. Oh, all right. Okay, that was fun. Now, how did I write stories? It's very easy, right? Because all stories have just three elements: characters, conflict, and resolution. Character means in the story who all plays what. Then conflict means problems that the characters face in the story. And solution is you have to find a solution. And that's what we do in our lives as well, right? Sometime back, we were the characters all waiting for the story session. So we were the, what was the problem, Mr. Krishna? No Wi-Fi. That was his problem. He said, then what did he do? He got the right person and he rectified it. So that is a solution. So that's what stories are made up of. All right. And I'm very fond of sounds. At Tulika Publishers, they told me, we want you to write a story based on sounds. Now, I've heard similar stories from the Western culture, called The Noisy House and The Noisy Chair and The Creaky Door by Margaret Reed MacDonald. And I was inspired by that story. So I made it into an Indian context and I wrote the story. So, of course, I think what they read, the bio they read about me, I think it's a little outdated. They left out a lot of things. I've written about 12 stories, not 2. I've done 12 stories, original stories I've done. And I've translated over 65 books, not 25. It's 65 books now. And I've traveled to not 23, 27 countries. So looks like they've been reading a slightly older resume of mine. But that's okay. That's why I'm saying this is, children, you can all do it. Because I didn't go for any training. It's just a passion that I heard stories from my grandmother, my mother, and my family, and I did it. So if somebody like me can do it, I'm sure you can all do it. So I'm only saying that you can if you try. You just have to have a heart to do it. All right? Anything is a skill. And if you do it with passion, you'll definitely win. So I would like to say that to all of you, all my young friends here, that it's inspired. There's lots of people around, lots of good things. And your mentor, Mr. Krishna, is doing such good work. I think you should make use of all the opportunity that is available. All right? And have a lot of fun. All right. Now we go to our second story. Are we ready for a second story?
Yes, teacher.
Yes, teacher.
Yes, teacher.
Yes, teacher. The story is very interesting.
Teacher, your stories are so
Don't call me
fun.
teacher.
Stories is
Call me teacher that I
very
feel like
interesting.
saying. Thank you. You call me
Teacher, you're
teacher, you know what? I feel.
You're
Jeeva,
muted.
You are in mute, teacher.
Somebody is
Teacher.
muting me. I'm not doing it. Somebody is.
Jeeva garu unmute cheskondi. Jeeva garu, please unmute yourself. Jeeva garu, unmute, please. Jeeva garu, unmute yourself. Unmute.
Yeah.
Unmute, please.
No, I'm unmuting it, but somebody is again muting me. I'm not doing it. I'm
Right,
nowhere
right.
near the. Yeah. No.
No, I'm Jeeva garu, when I'm allowing students, I'm trying to unmute all, then you are being muted. Okay.
Yeah, I
Thank you.
think so. All right. So you must also try to write. All right. You can tell. And by telling stories, you know what's the benefit when you tell stories? You start thinking in sequence. All right. Because like I told you, stories have got 3 parts, like story, you have the characters, conflict resolution, beginning, middle, and end. So when you listen to more and more stories, you get structure. So when you get a structure, when you speak to people, you're able to speak in that manner with connectivity, with connection, instead of jumping like a monkey here, there, everywhere. I'll talk something, then again talk something, and then go to something else. So doing all that, you're able to think in a line, and you're able to present yourself very, very interestingly. All right. So storytelling helps you with language. Storytelling helps you with presentation skills. It makes you develop self-esteem, because when somebody asks your name, you don't want to say no, like that. You want to speak confidently. The storytelling helps you in many ways. So the nice thing is to tell stories and also listen to stories, by which you can develop your language in a very informal way. Just without exertion, you can learn a lot of words. All right. Now for our second story. There once lived a king in a far off land. Now this king, he knew nothing about the kingdom. He was only interested in music and dance. Every day he will have dancers coming and dancing, and they will all say, takita takita ta, takita takita ta, deep taka deep taka deep taka ta, takita 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 ta, deep taka ta, deep taka ta, tanani 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 na. Or they would be singing. They'll be singing. So he'll be like, and admiring all the time. So he never knew there was what was happening in the kingdom. So one day there was this dance dancing. Takita rikita takita rikita takita rikita ta. Takita 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 ta. Deep taka deep taka deep takata. Deep taka deep taka deep takata. She danced and danced and danced. Just then the chief minister came running. He said, King, oh king, I have some bad news. I have some sad news. And the king said, what is it? What's the sad news that you have for me? Come on, tell me, asked the king. And the minister said, oh, okay, what can I tell you? Gandharva Sen is dead. The moment the king heard that, he said, what? Gandharva Sen is dead? Ah, that's a very sad news. Dancers, everything is cancelled. Singers, go back to your rooms. I don't want anything today. I declare 1 month mourning for Gandharva Sen. He said, and he walked to his room. Now the queen was shocked to see it. He said, you're back so soon? What happened, Maharaja? Why are you back so soon? Now the king was very upset. He said, now, don't you know I'm upset because Gandharva Sen is dead. The moment she heard, she started crying. Oh, Gandharva Sen is dead. Gandharva Sen is dead. Gandharva Sen is dead. She ran to her room. Now all the maids were surprised. They said, why is the queen crying? What happened? But nobody had the guts. Nobody was brave enough to go and ask her why she was crying. But there was one young girl, like Saisri. Like Saisri, there was a girl. Now this girl was a very curious girl. So this girl said, Amma, emaindi? Enduku edustundi Rani? Why is she crying? And all the senior maids said, shh, alaga maatladakudadu. Urgo, keep quiet. Don't say anything. But this girl said, Amma, I want to know, Amma. I want to know. I want to know, please. He said, all right. If you want, you go ask the queen. This girl was a brave girl. So she went and she said, Maharani, Maharani, Maharani. What? What do you want? Why are you crying, Maharani? Why are you weeping so bitterly? What is your problem? She asked. Now, the queen said, what can I tell you? The Maharaja is very upset. Okay, why is he upset? Tell us. We want to know. And the queen said, Gandharva Sen is dead. She cried. Gandharva Sen is dead. Who is Gandharva Sen, Rani? She asked very boldly. And the queen said, I don't know. The girl couldn't stop laughing. She said, What, Rani? You don't know who Gandharva Sen is and you're crying for someone you don't know? Ayo, ayo, she said. Now the queen said, I don't. Go ask the king. Don't sit like this, she said. Then the queen said, oh yes, I must find out who this Gandharva Sen is. And so she went to the king and said, Maharaja, I know you're very upset, Maharaja. And Maharaja said, yes, I'm upset. What do you want? Tell me. I know that Gandharva Sen is dead. But who is Gandharva Sen? We have to go pay our respects. And what the king said, she was shocked. He said, I don't know. You don't know? Then why are you crying? Because the chief minister told me Gandharva Sen is dead. Call the chief minister and ask him. At once the king said, gods, bring in the chief minister. The chief minister came running and he said, Maharaj, yes. Now, tell me, who is Gandharva Sen? And the chief minister said, Maharaj, I don't know. What? You don't know? I don't know. The chief of the army told me, sir. That is what I told you, Maharaj. Please don't get angry, pleaded the chief minister. Is it? Go and ask the chief of the army. And so, quickly, the chief minister went running. All the soldiers were practicing their marching. Left, right, 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 left, right. And then he said, Chief, come here. And the chief came running. Yes, sir. What is it? Please tell me, sir. And the chief minister said, look here, chief. The king wants to know, who is Gandharva Sen? And the chief of the army said, I don't know, sir. Hurry. No kuda telida. Sir, I don't know. Then why did you tell me? Because the soldier came late, sir. When I asked him, sir, he told me that Gandharva Sen is dead, sir. Now ask the soldier. So now the soldier was busy drinking his tea, his chai. At once, the chief of the army said, hey, soldier, come here. Soldier, yes, sir. What is it, sir? Yes. Oh, tell me. The king wants to know, who is Gandharva Sen? Who, sir? Who, sir? Who is Gandharva Sen? I don't know, sir. Then why did you tell me? My wife told me, sir. That's why I told, sir. She was crying, sir. Stop laughing. Go ask your wife. The soldier got scared and he ran. His wife was busy cooking and she was busy sweeping the floor. He said, wife, wife. The wife said, what? Wife. Why are you calling me like wife? As if you're selling some bananas. Eh? What is your problem? Why are you calling me like this? He said, you know what? We are in trouble. What trouble? Who is this Gandharva Sen? I don't know, she said. Then why did you tell me? The king wants to know. Huh? My sister in the river, by the riverside, she told me. Go ask her. So the soldier and the wife went running to the riverside. They ran and ran and ran. And there, her sister, her Akka was busy washing the clothes. She called out, Akka, sister. The sister looked, what? She said, I know you're very upset, but can you tell me who this Gandharva Sen is? The moment that Akka heard the word Gandharva Sen is dead, she started howling. Ay. My Gandharva Sen is dead. He was my best soulmate. How can I forget him? He cried and he wept and wept and wept and wept. But then the soldier said, please tell quickly because the king wants to know. Now let me ask you, do you want to know? Saisri, you want to know? Do you want to know Pallavi? You want to know Ramila? You want to know Renu? You want to know Ayagiri Sharda? You want to know Sri Puti Theatre? You want to know Sharif and all the others? You want to know? Do you want to know? Oh, yeah. She said, let me tell you, Gandharva Sen is my donkey. Donkey? the news reached the king, and the king felt so foolish because for the first time ever in the whole world, there was 1 month mourning declared for a death of a donkey. Ayyo. And from then the king decided that he is going to take care of his kingdom and know exactly what is happening around. And that's the story of Gandharva Sen is Dead. A story that I read from the collection of, what's his name?
You can unmute yourself, audience.
Audience can unmute.
Nice story, teacher.
Nice teacher.
Interesting, teacher.
Yes,
nice, teacher.
Yes, your expressions are nice and your voice changing is also nice, teacher.
You know what? You can raise your hand and speak one by one. That'll be better. Okay? Maybe Krishna Garu, you can tell. Yeah, okay. What's your name now? Vilina Ravi. What is it that you want to tell me?
Teacher, I heard this story you were telling in YouTube, teacher. I heard this story.
Oh, yeah. I did it long time ago. Yes, that's right. Anybody else has anything to ask me?
Jeeva
Yes,
excellently
Rish.
told. This story, I read it in Telugu from our school library, Gandharva Senikaleru.
Oh, okay.
But you rendering this story is far superior to that experience of my reading that.
Thank you.
so much.
Yeah. This is there's somebody else who wanting to speak. Kartikeya, you want to say something, Kartikeya?
No, not
Yeah.
me, teacher. It's my brother.
Teacher, your
Okay,
expressions
Tejdeep,
and
okay.
your voice changing is so nice, teacher.
I just make it interesting, just to break the monotony of the telling. You know, if I'm going to say once upon a time there was a king, and you're going to say, you'll fall asleep, right? I don't want you to fall asleep, so I'm trying to make it a little interesting by doing such things. Right? Anything else? You have any questions to ask? Any other question? Yeah? That's it. You have a question? There's somebody else who wanted a question?
Sai Suhan. Ask.
Sai Sohan, where are you?
Unmute.
Yeah, Sai
Unmute.
Sohan. Unmute yourself. Yes, go ahead.
Now audience can unmute yourselves.
Teacher.
One by one.
Yeah, Sai Sohan, what's your question?
Teacher, you learn stories in young class?
When I was young? Yeah, very much. Yeah. I've heard from a very long time. Right, from my 5-year-old, I've been telling stories because I've been listening to stories. But professionally, I've been doing it for the past 23 years.
23.
Yeah, 23 years as a professional storyteller. Started in 97. Yeah.
Your expressions are very nice, teacher.
Thank you very much. You can all tell the same way. It's not difficult. You just need to try.
Thank you, teacher. Thank you, teacher.
Okay. Is there anybody else who wants to say something?
Teacher, your story is very funny, teacher.
Yeah, I like fun stories.
Teacher, when you're saying
If I do
so
sad
funny.
stories, I'll start crying. So I don't do sad stories. I do fun stories so I can also laugh along. Okay.
Teacher, when you say the stories, it will be so funny, teacher.
Really?
Your expressions and your actions.
Yeah. I wish I could do live for you, but now in such a situation we can
welcome,
only do
welcome.
online.
Yes,
Most
teacher.
welcome. Yeah. When you come to Vijayawada, please do visit our school.
Sure, definitely.
Madam, I have a question.
Yes, sir.
Very good morning. My name is Karunakar. I'm from Bangalore. Actually, by profession, I'm a principal of a school. I
Okay,
really
sir.
believe in the power of storytelling. And
Yes.
but unfortunately, storytellers like you are, it seems very, very rare. So
No.
the way
There are
you
plenty of storytellers in Bangalore, very good ones.
yeah, that we can explore. But the way you rendered, I mean, first time I saw this kind of storytelling where I can see the atmosphere of the children there, the way they involved, and the way of asking questions itself indicates how excited they were and how interested they were. So
Thank you so much.
I don't know whether I can invite you to our school here, but I wanted to.
Why not? Definitely, sir.
Definitely. But
Definitely.
could you please suggest some other media or CDs or something that I'm sure they may not be comparable to your level, but if you could suggest a few, so that will be better.
Actually, there are lots of online storytelling which is available. They're pretty good. There are lots of nice storytellers who can. Because since I don't buy CDs and videos, but I keep telling, so I don't have. I'm not the right person to really speak much about that. But there are lots of very, very brilliant storytellers online, both in India and overseas. Yeah. So I guess
right
you
now,
just have to
right
Google.
now on the stage, we have 5 storytellers watching this. Renu Chamarthi garu, Rumini, and Kiran Shagar. Many other people are here.
Kiran Shah is
Actually,
like my storytelling sister. We're very, very close.
yeah, because of her only you are here.
Yes, she told me. She said, I did this. You want to do it? I said, of course, yes. Like sister.
Yeah.
I said, yes.
I have to say, I first met Jeeva in Singapore in 2000.
2000. Yeah.
And that's how old my relationship with her has been.
20 long years of association. Yes. Yes.
That brought her here. Thank you, Kiran Shagar.
Interesting.
So, Jeeva garu, were you, how long have you been with such an expressive way of telling? Maybe in the childhood you are telling stories, but once you must have decided to be more expressive. So when
No,
did it
sir,
happen?
I'm always like this. I've always been like this. From my young age, I've always been this way, very talkative, very animated, because my grandmother, my mother are all very expressive people. So, and Indians by nature are very expressive, very animated. So I think it is there in the genes. I don't try something because I'm only an acquired skill person. I'm not a trained person. Unlike Kiran and all who have been properly trained, I'm not trained. Mine is an acquired skill. As I go, as I pass, I learn. I pick up a lot of things from people who teach me. I've learned so much from Kiran, from Sheila, from Diane, from Margaret. There are lots of people who have helped me grow. So that's it. So I've always been animated like this. And I've always tried a lot of voices. It's always interested me to use voices. And another thing, I think my big plus is I love children. I'm very fond of children of all ages. Nobody wants to tell stories for very young kids, the 2.5, because I've also been a preschool teacher for about 12 years. I've had my own preschool and I've been teaching preschoolers. So I know, I love that age group, and it goes on. To even adults, I keep telling stories. So it's not a thing. To me, stories are like, it's everything for me. I'm very passionate about storytelling. I think that is what I have. It's only my passion that is driving me to do all these things, nothing more than that. It's my passion. I just love stories. And it's just that before I used to tell it for fun, now I'm doing it for my bread. That's the only difference. Yeah, that's it.
So, any clues, students, to be more expressive than they are now?
No, the only thing is, like I told you, unless you listen, you cannot develop language. Listening is the first step to language development. Take a small baby, for instance. How does the small baby say amma, appa, nana? How? Because the mama keeps telling, no? Because he keeps listening. It's a listening skill that develops into speech. Then speech later develops into reading, after which comes writing. But in school, we have to start with writing, then reading. Then we say, don't talk. We don't let them speak at all. We say, no, don't talk. Don't talk. We don't. And we always say, listen. And listening is all orders. It is orders from the teachers, it's orders from the parents. Sit and read. If the child wants to tell something to the parent doesn't listen. But I'm saying parents should also listen to children. It's not that only children should listen to parents, but parents should listen to children, what they have to say. It's very important. Only then. Unfortunately, or I won't blame anybody. It's become nuclear families now. So number of people with whom a child grows varies. So the language is very slow in pickup because both parents are not there. His only communication is with the media. So that's the language he listens to. So he doesn't get to listen to our culture, our home culture, our home heritage. So nothing to blame anybody, but I'm just saying that's dwindled due to the advancement of technology. So that's it. So I will tell all the kids to keep listening. You can listen to your own voice also. Just read aloud your book and, just pick up any book, any picture book also, it's all right. if you want to develop reading habit, don't start off with big novels. Then you'll feel scared. Take simple books and keep reading. It's all right. It's okay. Even if it's baby stories, it's all right. And reading and listen to your own voice, even that will help. And then try to talk, try to speak. Now you all have phones. You can just record your own voice and listen to your voice. All these things will help. And speaking is what finally opens up avenues for all of us. No? I might be a gold medalist, but if I can't say, hello, sir, how are you? Then it's of no use, right? You have to express yourself. You have to be vocal. You have to speak. Of course, your gold medal has value. I'm not saying it doesn't have value, but to express that, even to tell that I'm a gold medalist, you have to speak, right? You can't keep your file like this and sit for an interview like that. Nobody's going to even look at you. So all these things matter. So you have to be vocal. I'm not saying talk unnecessarily, but I'm only saying that it is important to express oneself. Communication is very important. And sometimes, if you're very quiet, maybe you're very knowledgeable, but you don't want to speak. People will think you don't know anything. But actually, you're a bright child, but you don't want to say anything. Don't do that. Express yourself. There's nothing wrong. And when you have any doubts, ask teachers. Don't keep quiet. Ask them. Tell them. They are there to help you. They all say, "You teacher, bayanga undi." No bayam. There's no need to be afraid of teachers. They are like your mothers. So you have to talk to them like that. And teachers are the same way. Teachers also the same thing. After all, we have come through all those things. We've all been as naughty as they were. So it's a question of reading their minds. Once you read their mind, capture their minds, they'll do anything for you. All that the children need to know is trust. They should learn to trust you. Once they get the trust, they trust you, they'll do anything for you. That's why I always tell teachers, never tell children, follow me. You just don't know what's happening behind you. And if you say, hold my hand, the child is never going to fall and never going to learn. You walk behind the child and say, I'll follow you. So now you know exactly what's happening to the child. And the child is very happy because if I fall, I have somebody behind to lift me up. So that's the confidence he will get when you walk behind. So the teacher always should be at the back of the children so that the children is confident that the child is confident that, yeah, I have somebody to pick me up if I fall. And they'll have to fall to learn. So it is okay. It's all right. So that's what I like to do. And I remember when in my school days, of course, we didn't have 60 in a class that time, around 35, 40. But even our principal knew each one of us individually about our family, about the child, about everything. I think it's very important. And the same goes for teachers. I understand some of us are there, some of you are there only for 1 year with those kids. But that 1 year, you must know what they are. It's not enough if you just say that this child is bright, this child is slow. No. Why? Why is he slow? Why is he smart? What is wrong? How can I help? He might be a selective mute where he decides to speak only when he wants to. So try to find out all these things. Observation for teachers is very important, which happens, I think, in the methodology Regimelia, where you have to observe and write. Every day you have to observe and write about what children do. So observe the children. Observe every move of the child. It's just not that, just marks or outsmart smart kids when come on stage and speak alone is smart. No, there can be other hidden talents. So you need to understand the child. When you understand the child also feels very confident. And the child should feel that I can say anything to teacher. And they're very smart. Children are very smart. One day you say, okay, children, sit down. So they'll say, I think teacher got scolded by principal. That's why she's angry. They're very clever. They'll tell you all those things, And so unfortunately, not everybody, many teachers, when they tell stories, they take that authoritative stand. Once upon a time, there was a crow. Come on, listen to me. Can you hear me? Sit down. Okay. So that's the tone we take. So which child wants to listen to a story like that? Because that sounds like a lesson for them. They'll say, "Ayo, there's another lesson for us." And we don't stop with that. We don't let the child enjoy the story. After that, moral of the story is, why are you telling the moral? Let the child find out what the moral is. Because there are 100 different things in the story. We can only say one moral of the story, honesty is the best policy, but there might be other things in the story. Let the child imagine, let the child understand, find out. And we'll ask boring question. Where did the crow sit? Where will it sit? On the tree, not on your head, right? Why ask questions like that? Ask questions where the child can think. Provoke him to speak. We won't do that. We'll have boring questions. And when we tell a story, half the time we are frightening. See, if you behave like that greedy girl, that's what will happen. Not all that. They'll understand that is what the cause and effect is there in the story. So don't force things. It must be a pleasurable thing. That is when they will open up to teachers, and that's when you will know who they are and what their attributes are. What are their strengths? And then you can tell. I think she has a flair for poetry. She has a flair for math, whatever. And then you'll be able to guide the child to take forward. That's what. And most of the time, the children are spending more time with teachers than with parents, right? It's their second home. So I think it's important. It's important. And I always feel teachers are like, oh, no, why are you like that? Tap on your back to say that I have been chosen among many who were interviewed. So you are good. That's why you're there in school teaching. So you're good. So why are you paranoid all the time? Oh, I got to do this. I got to do this. 24 hours you have. You can do a lot of things if you plan it. And our brain is such a beautiful organ. You train it, it just happens. Especially the creativity, the right brain. If you tap your right brain, there is no end to stop it. It will keep on telling you different things. It'll be so creative. But unfortunately, we don't use. We use the left brain, which is just 2 + 2 is 4. That's all. Whereas the right brain says, no, 1 + 1 + 1 + 1 is also 4. 2 + 2 is also 4. 1 + 3 is also 4. So it'll give you lots of ideas, the right side. Right? So by just filling a bottle of water, you can teach the concept of math. How many glasses of water fills the bottle? You got math there. Your dance steps are what? Mathematical calculation. Your column is mathematical calculations. There's so much around us. There is a lot of stimuli. The problem is we don't use any of those things. And imagine doing all those things. Let's say it starts raining. Shut your class. Shut your lesson. Look at the rain. Start talking about the rain. That's what you need to do. That's how the child will grow. And imagine the child. Would you want to, study when it's raining? You want to look at the rain. No? Even as old as I'm 64. Even at 64, when it rains, I want to look at the rain. It gives joy, right? It is nice. You have a nice feel. The chattering noises of that, of the pitter patter of the rain. All that is, it's so nice. And you feel like having something nice, hot samosa, somebody gives it to be nice. Things like that. You feel like all those things happen. So imagine a child. And just imagine the curiosity the child would have. And there, when it falls, what happens to the earth? It makes a little hole. What happens to the hole? In that hole, the water gets filled up. What happens if the water stays there? The mosquito will come and breed there. What happens if the mosquito breeds there? Then the lizard will come to eat. So there's so many things you can connect with. So there are lots of things you can, which no lesson will teach you. These are all extra things that you can teach. It's all integrated. It's all integrated learning only. So it's a lot of fun you can do. And with stories, you can do 100 things, million things you can do. I'm sure, Kiran would have taught you a lot of other things which you can do with children. I'm sure.
Yes.
So since I've been a teacher, I very well understand the psychology of our parents as well. and the children, the demands of the children and the demands of the parents, So that's it. And never sound ignorant to parents. When parents ask you a question, if you don't know, humbly say that I shall find out and let you know. And make it a point to call them up or meet them and say, this is what the question, this is the answer for the question you asked. Then they know that this teacher is somebody who will take interest in the welfare of my child. Basically, it weaves around trust. All of us need faith and trust in each other to move forward. Yeah, children? Ayo, this auntie is talking all kinds of things, boring things, right? You think so? All right, so you must start telling stories now. You must start writing stories. I see some older kids here. What, Dinesh? You like to write? Do you write stuff? Do you write stories? You have to unmute yourself. I can't hear you otherwise. You got to unmute.
I must allow them. Let me allow.
Okay. Okay. All right.
Okay.
Yes.
Dinesh, would you like to write stories?
Yes.
You like to. So you must start writing. You know what you could do? You senior boys and girls, you should write stories, make little books and give it to the little ones to read. It'll be fun. In that way, you'll motivate them also to write. You'll motivate them to read books as well, right? You can just couple of children, just bring children, go to the library, get a couple of kids, make them sit around and you can tell them a story, you can read them a story. That'll be good for you and good for them. It's a two-way thing. You're also learning, they're also learning. Wouldn't it be fun? I think your seniors can do something like that. And I understand you would like to play, you'd like to go to the open field to play your soccer game or your cricket. I understand. But sometimes you can do this also, which is nice, right? Which finally, you're going to be in the tech world. So you will need communication anyway when you grow up. And these things will really help you when you grow up. Okay. So that I would like to tell for the older girls and boys. That's what you need to do. You know, it's okay. You can write anything. You can write any nonsense verse, silly verses also is good enough. It doesn't really matter. It's just a question of trying. You need to try. Without try, you can't say, no, I can't write. No, I would have never been an author had I not written. It was my publisher friend who said, no, you can write. And I just got into writing. And today I've published 12 books. I can't believe. 10 in India and 2 in Sweden. So I can't believe that I've written. And because she provoked me, she said, no, you can translate. Of course, my earlier translations weren't very good. Now, in 65 books, now I know exactly what to do, how I have grown. Nobody is born a genius, but then we have to nurture our strengths. So all of us have our strengths. So you nurture that. You can do anything. It's not only being a doctor or an engineer alone is being big. You can do anything to become big. But until you're sincere and you're very, devoted in whatever you're doing, nothing can stop you. Right? I see all your bright faces. Good. Nice to see older boys and girls also in this session. Yes, is there anything else you'd like to ask me?
Jeeva,
Yes, tell me, sir.
I have a small question, it's a doubt.
Yes.
So
Yes.
when you write a story, I think you keep many components in mind, like the change in the voice, body language, facial expressions and all.
Okay. You're talking about telling the story.
To allow you to express better. I think you include all such things. I read one storybook of yours. So the same thing I observed in many other books.
It's very simple, sir. When you tell a story, how do we normally speak?
Sounds and all.
How do we speak in real life? Yeah, I'm very fond of sounds.
Yeah.
But you see, in real life also, we don't speak like, hello, how are you? Are you happy? We don't speak like that. No, we emote. We say, hey, hi. You know, today I listened to one story. It was boring. Oh, it was very nice. Oh, I don't such a headache. So we express ourselves in different ways. So the same thing has to come to the story. That's about all. It's not something that you have to measure and do it. It is very natural, no? That's how we speak. In your everyday life, we speak. And that's what we do. That's what some teachers reflect when they tell stories. If they're angry, the crow, the thirsty crow will be an angry crow. Once upon a time, there was a crow. He was very thirsty. So the child is looking, is the crow thirsty or angry? If it's sad, no, once upon a time, there was a crow very sad. So they bring in the mood. They are in personal mood. But I'm saying this, each story has its own mood. If you capture that, if you capture the emotion in a story, that emotion will change your voice. When the voice changes, your face will change, your hands will change, your body will change. And that when being first a storyteller and then an author, my mind thinks like how I can tell. So I can only write tellable tales, but you'll be surprised. But for a couple of stories, I've never told the stories I've written. Because that's more for written style. And I don't have a great memory, so I can't memorize lines. I have a problem. So I have to create my own lines. So I can't. So that's why I don't do authored stories, because for authored stories, you have to remember lines and I don't remember lines. So even if I'm doing an authored story, it'll be my own style. I'll say that I've adapted it or I've been inspired by this original story by so and so and so. So that's it. So, and always remember, your strengths only you would know. So if you do something within your strengths, then you are most efficient. Because when you're comfortable with something and you do something with all comfort, then the result will be good. You'll be the most efficient when you're doing something when you're comfortable. Remember that. And it's all right to accept. I accept it. I know only to tell stories. You ask me to do something else, I'll say no. You ask me to act, I can't act. In my story, I will do different characters. But you put me in front of the camera, I can't act. Because I'm not an actor, I'm a storyteller. There's a difference. Each one is a different skill. But you have to identify yourself and pursue it. And you must have a valid thing. I understand when you're very young, you won't know. You want to be, many children, very young children, you ask them what you want to become, they'll say robber. All of them say, I want to become a robber. For some reason, they like robbers. Because they are very brave, no? They think like, because they get into houses, they rob. They feel that it's bravery. At that age, they won't know. That's okay. That's all baby talk. But when they grow is when you have to find out what you're capable of and do it. I was very keen on becoming a teacher. I was very keen. I was offered a medical seat. I said no. I was offered an MBA seat. I said no. I was offered a law seat. I said no. As I want to be a teacher. But I never did B.Ed. Because I thought if I do B.Ed, I'll become like small. I'll be within a box. I said, no, I won't do B.Ed. So I never did B.Ed. But I've taught kindergarten. I've also taught +1, +2. I taught French for them. I've taught 1 year at the college also. So I have a varied thing. And then I know how I became a storyteller. Because probably since I loved stories so much, I think the stories looked for me and they picked me up. The stories to pick me up, I think. That's what finally your passion will lead you to do what you really want to do in life. Okay? All right, sir. I think we can close. Thank you very much. It was a lovely session. Thanks a lot.
Rangoli garu, anything to say?
Yes.
Jeeva garu, I am introducing you to Rangoli garu. He is the man behind 108 emergency service at the national level.
Oh,
Madam, I want to ask you, thank you so much. I liked your way of telling.
Thank you.
So I want to ask you, your audience, when the age group varies completely, age of 10, 12 versus adults of 40 plus, what kind of changes do you introduce in storytelling?
No, if it's a mixed group, then I have mixed stories. Some catering to one age group, some catering to others overall. But one thing I've noticed, sir, adults all have a child within. So it doesn't really matter. Doesn't really matter. It is how you present. End of the day, how you present. Even if I want to do the Vade and the party story, even adults who know the story for years will still enjoy it. It is how you give it, how you present it. It doesn't really matter. But of course, the language we use, you have to be very careful. With children, you can't use very strong words. You have to be very careful. There's only certain words that you can use in stories because they're learning. But adults have already passed that stage. That'll be the only difference. Otherwise, it's just the same. But when it's a mixed age group, you have to think of stories that people will get attracted to. A mixed match. You'll have to find it yourself. Now, over the years of experience, you will be able to identify what is what. I don't do mythology because I'm not a research scholar on that, and I feel that it needs a lot of research to do those kind of stories. Unless you are very sure of it, you shouldn't. And like I told you, I don't have a good memory power, so I can't memorize names of from the mythology. Instead of Vali, I do Sugrivan, means the whole story is gone. I don't want to do anything like that. And between Vyasa and Vishwamitra, if I make a mistake, finish, the story is totally gone. So I don't attempt those things. I specialize in folk tales because it's one thing is you don't have copyright issues. Folk tales have lived with us for years. And I can do what I want with folk tales. I can bring in contemporary elements into it. I can change it however I want. I can have a song, I can have a dance, I can do anything. So that's the reason folk tales. And folk tales really talk about the life at that time. Because there are stories by the folk, told by the people of those days. Which over the years, people have changed it also. Because when it comes to their generation, then they can't connect it. Like for instance, in my story, the Grandma's Beat, the mortar and pestle, many children haven't even seen it. Because nobody uses it. Everything is mixy now. Sorry, sir.
You started, helping children at a small age to pick up storytelling skill. Because like our generation, I only learned at the age of 32 because there was my teacher who was 30 years older to me. A fantastic storyteller. Nice. And he taught me how to tell, particularly this, if there's no emotion, because ultimately it's not the content of the story, it's how you deliver through your body and through the eyes and gestures and all that kind of things. That's where and it led to me finally, in my book, I wrote 28 stories. When I showed it to Dr. He said, no lecture of yours you can conclude without telling 2 stories at least. It's so powerful. I also felt at any age group, on the contrary, as you said, elders become children and they start laughing. They don't get so many opportunities to laugh. They try to inhibit themselves as if. So I think listening becomes very important quality for a storyteller. If he didn't know how to listen, if he didn't know how to emote, if he didn't know how to express, But only thing I learned is expressing self has a karma, because we learned through hard way in our career. Self-expression is good from beginning I learned, but later I paid my price. Then I learned karma without hurting others.
Yeah, that of course.
Yeah, because many people feel as if it's a right to express themselves. You don't have a right to express without hurting others.
That is important.
Yeah. But very good. The natural flair and naturally you're talented.
Thank you,
Story
sir.
நல்லா இருக்கு மேடம், ரொம்ப நல்லா இருக்கு.
Oh, thank you. Thank you so much. I wish I could speak in Telugu. That's one of my favorite languages. I love the language. It's so beautiful. Sundara Telugu, we call it in Tamil. Really, Sundara Telugu. I love it. I do speak a little bit, not much, but then I just admire the Telugu when spoken well. Of course, there are some Telugu which is like, even in Chennai, we have some Podu Sodsava, Vada Sodsava. I say, what? That's not Telugu. I don't like that Telugu. I like the real pure, the real pure Telugu is beautiful. I've always admired that language. Yes, sir. Thank you so much. Thank you all. I live in Virugambakam. Yes, Chennai, sir. I live in Chennai. Virugambakam.
I stayed in Greenways Road for 11 years.
Where, sir?
Greenways Road.
Oh, Greenways. Oh, that's where all the top people live.
Yeah, I lived opposite. House.
Oh, okay. There you go.
Your student Renu Garu is waiting.
Yes, Renu.
I have been an Ekalavya Shishya of ma'am for many years, and now I am actually a direct student of ma'am. And I've been observing ma'am. I haven't missed a single frame of what she's done today.
No, you know it already, Renu. You're already doing a lot of good things.
Because I copy you.
Nothing like that. Getting inspired is one thing.
Chala బాగుండింది ఈ రోజు, and thanks a lot, ma'am.
My pleasure.
It's so good listening to you once again.
Thank you. Thank you all.
I would like Kiran Shah to conclude this session with her beautiful words.
Where is she?
Yeah, hang on. Oh,
Kiran Shah.
give me a minute.
Okay, meanwhile, Padmini Garu. Yeah, she would like to say something.
Yeah. Oh, well, I didn't realize I was supposed to say something, but it will be delightful. I am in my kitchen, so you'll excuse me.
Yeah.
I've heard Jeeva tell these stories more than once, but it is really enjoyable the first time and every other time. So stories, doesn't matter if you've heard them before, a well-told story is enjoyed every single time. So thanks,
you, Kiran.
Jeeva. That was
Thanks,
great
Kiran.
fun while I was cooking and preparing my dinner. So thanks for that. And
Thank
good
you.
luck.
Thank you.
Okay.
Thank you.
Thanks. Bye. Bye.
Thank you for coming.
Yeah, you're
Yeah.
most welcome. Pleasure. Okay, bye, sister. Bye, everyone.
Bye. Yes, ma'am. Yes, Padmini, ma'am. Yeah.
Padmini Garu.
No, you can just call me Padmini Jeeva, because I have watched Jeeva's live performances, couple of storytelling festivals, and this story, yes, this story, when she gives a live performance, you can enjoy much better. But I was really surprised, even kids could enjoy today online. Now, just you can imagine when this can be given an effect on online to this extent, what it would have been when she performs it. I have read Julia Donaldson's Splash and the Squeeze, a similar kind, perhaps. Maybe I don't know whether you were inspired by that or not. But anyway, whatever it is, but whatever is our native has its own flavor.
Of course.
Yeah. When we go with series of, it has its own flavor, and I have enjoyed Jeeva's thing. And a couple of times I was referring even to Krishna sir that if he could bring you online, it would be a great thing. And also I was requesting him. It was really lovely, Jeeva. As her name goes, Jeeva, she brings life to the story. That is the actual essence of a best storyteller. My father used to always say, who is the best storyteller? Who can bring a life even to the dullest story? If you are able to pour in life, then you are that is a success. And that she has done.
Thank
And
you, thank
perhaps maybe your parents knew that you're going to be a storyteller. They named you Jeeva.
Oh, I don't know. Maybe.
Perhaps, maybe. See, everything goes in. Wonderful session,
Yeah.
Jeeva.
I was named after my grandmother, who's also grand aunt, who's also very
Ah.
talented. Yeah,
Anyway,
yeah.
yeah, as you said, yeah. Wonderful, wonderful. Thank you.
Thanks,
Thank you very
thanks,
much.
Krishna Garu. Thank you very much. Thanks for the opportunity.
Yeah.
Thank you.
So
Yeah.
finally, thank you, Jeeva Garu. So I could see all the students and adults equally enjoying this session. They all became kids. Really, I
Okay.
saw many smiling faces all the time throughout the story, your story.
Okay. Thank
So
you.
it's a wonderful session with lots of love and thanks. We are saying bye-bye to you. But
Yes,
we would
thanks.
like to see you live in Vijayawada, in our
Definitely.
school. If at all there is a chance, whenever you
Once
come to
once
Vijayawada,
everything is once everything settles, we can always meet up. So it's not a
yeah, thank you so much.
my pleasure. Thank you, sir.